Hi, I'm Stuart. Welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back. Thanks for viewing my video. In this video, I'm going to do the banned books tag. I was tagging videos by Kelly at Books I'm Not Reading, Nicole at Nicole's Bookish Nook, and Pat at Book Chat with Pat 8668. Reading This Life at M-J did this tag, and Suey at Suey's Book Banter did this tag. And Reney at Beyond Books did this tag. I repeat what they said to properly credit the creator of the tag. Banned Books Week was October 5 through 11, but I think it's something we should talk about. This tag was created by Katrina at Peepers-Reading-Corner. And I'm going to include the videos of everybody I mentioned so far. What we're talking about here with bans/challenge books is books that are banned and challenged that are taught in schools and or are in school libraries. But it should be said that it doesn't mean that public libraries and bookstores are immune from the effects of these challenges. Public librarians and library workers and bookstore owners, bookstore workers have been confronted physically and attacked online and via email. So the effects of book banning challenging go beyond public schools. And also it should be stated that there are those who would like to move beyond banning books just from the schools. They would like to totally ban them. So it's not like book banning, if successful in a large scale, it will just stop there. There were those who like to prevent anyone from reading books, whether online or in a bookstore. So people shouldn't think that just because they can get the books, it means that they're always going to be able to get the books. Another thing to note too, if you electronic stuff, it's been revealed recently that you don't really own it. You're just kind of borrowing it. It could be taken back from you, which is one reason why people suggest getting physical books. I watched a video recently by Willow at Willow Talks Books, where she talked about her experience. She lives in Scotland now, and she talked about her experiences where bookstore owners are accosted, even when she herself was accosted in a way. So I'll try to remember to include her video too. I know it's in England, but if something like that happens in England, it's much more likely to happen in the US, the way the climate is now. I also want to point out my sweatshirt. This is a sweatshirt that was designed and is sold on the store of Reading This Life at M-J. She also has, I'm not sure what's on, I haven't looked recently, but she had t-shirts with this saying too, and there's some other stuff she has on there. So just wanted to point that out too. MJ is at least in the corner of BookTube that I'm in, is a leader in the effort to bring these book banning, challenging issues to the forefront and make people aware of them and do stuff about it. There are 6 tags in this prompt. The first is, do you intentionally read banned books? Why or why not? No, I don't. I have realized that TBRs, whether short-term or long-term, don't work for me. So I don't specifically seek out banned books. I am a member of a group that does read a banned book every month. It is a Fable Book Club. I'm with a band, moderator of MJ, Reading This Life at MJSJ on here. But other than that, it just happens if I read a banned book. Often I don't know a book was even banned or challenged when I read it or after it. It's just a book I pick up. I'm very much a mood reader, and I go where my moods takes me. Also should state too, besides the I'm with the BAM book club, I'm in several other book clubs, and that kind of ties my reading down, and I don't want to tie it down more than it is. Not that I don't enjoy the book clubs, but it limits the mood reading I can do. So at the beginning of this year, I had a goal to read the most banned books in 2023-2024, top 10 I believe for Pen America, and I haven't read one of them yet. Goals like that just don't work for me. The second prompt is tell us your favorite banned book. I'm just going to name a few. One thing I should like to state too is because other people have talked in their videos about some books are just challenged, they're not actually banned. The books I mentioned in this video are banned. Before I did it, I looked at the Pen America list of books that were banned in 2024-2025, and all the books I mentioned are actually banned somewhere in the US. The books I'm going to mention are The Stand by Stephen King. That's a longtime favorite of mine. One of my favorite Stephen King books. The second is another Stephen King book, Salem's Lot. The third is Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins, that one I read recently. I was a little surprised to see that Suzanne Collins' books were banned and that Mockingjay was one of them. The third prompt is share a story about book banning. I should say that I live in Connecticut, and per Pen America, they show Connecticut as a gray state. That means there's 0 book bans. But I was not too long ago aware of an attempt to ban a book or two in my town. I live in a medium-sized town, and what stuck with me was the reasons the person wanted to ban this book, and person or group. Person was representing a group, I believe. The reason that they wanted to get these books banned was that the books were set in the mid-20th century, and they said that America was a racist country at that time, and the people wanting to get the books banned claimed that was a political opinion, which that really stuck with me, because it was only during World War II that the U.S. military started to desegregate. There was plenty of places, especially in the South, that were whites only well after the mid-20th century. Schools only in the South started to get desegregated in the 60s, early 60s, I believe. So it's easy to prove that the U.S. was a racist country, and people saying that's just a political opinion kind of shows really what their whole purpose of that was. I never followed through on that, and so I don't know how much of a battle there was, but as Pen America shows, Connecticut has no books banned. I'm assuming that their attempt failed. Another thing I just recall is the Moms for Liberty, a group which is many such groups, their title's a misnomer, but they at least came to the state to talk somewhere, at least once. That's the only 2 stories I really remember. The fourth prompt is, which book would you memorize to save it from the censors, a la Fahrenheit 451? The book I'm going to select is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. It's a book I reread recently after not reading it decades after the first time I read it, and it still resonated with me. The reason I'm picking this book is I think this book is a book that would resonate with teenagers now just as much as it would with teenagers when it came out in the 60s. And I think it's a book that would cause many of the teenagers to want to read more. Too often you hear people say that the books they were taught when in their school days caused them to dislike reading. And I think The Outsiders is a book that would make many teens enjoy reading and possibly read more. They could identify with the book really well. The fifth prompt is, are there any books that challenge your opinions on book banning? Be honest, tell us more. Well, initially, when I saw this question, I thought of Toxic Love by Christopher Triana. It's a book I read recently. It's a very disturbing book. It's a splatterpunk horror book. But as I thought more about it, I realized that no one is going to suggest that this book be read in a school. No one would suggest this book be in a school library. It's just not the type of book that anybody would suggest that. So it's like, yes, I really don't think that maybe it should be in a school library, but it's the kind of book that wouldn't be in a school library. There are certain standards that people are going to, who choose books for school libraries and classes, are going to use. Pat in her video said this a lot better than I'm saying it. She's a former longtime educator, 40 years, English teacher, and also she ran the English department at her school in the latter part of her career, so she can speak on this better. I suggest you look at her video, but most books aren't even going to be considered to be read in school or be in school libraries. So my thinking on this book was initially, yeah, it shouldn't be in a school library, read in school, but it's not going to be anyway, so it's kind of a moot point. Should I think it should be available to people who want to read it? Yeah, sure. And, I don't think necessarily kids should read it, but, late teens, adults should be able to read it. But it's a very disturbing book, but because of that being a very disturbing book, it's a catch-22. It's not going to be in a school library or classroom because of its nature, so nobody's going to have to ban it or challenge it. It's just not going to be an issue. One thing I should have mentioned too earlier, that I don't disagree that parents should be able to decide what their children should or shouldn't read, but I don't think the parents should be able to decide what the other students in their kids' class should read. And I don't think organizations should come from outside organizations, come into an area and help get books banned and challenged. So, but I don't question whether the parents, parents should obviously have a role in it. Pat talks about this in her video. The one instance, there was a parent who wanted their child not to read a particular book, and between Pat and this parent, they found another book for the child to read. So, but like I say, a lot of what's happened here is like people just, one parent complains about something and then it gets heard and then the book gets banned. So your own kid, yes, but other kids, no. One thing I'd like to mention too is that although I said in answer to the first question, I don't specifically go out of my way to read banned books, besides the book club I'm a part of and those books are selected for us. I only, in the course of my normal reading, happen upon a book that may be banned. I do try to help in another way. I did not too long ago make a contribution to the American Library Association, and I also became a reader member of PEN America, so I'm trying to help in that way, and also use the resources, especially the resources of PEN America, to learn more about the whole book banning, challenging situation. The sixth prompt is tag people. First, I tag anyone who's watching this video. And I'm going to tag a bunch more people. I was initially going to try to filter my tag list and think, well, geez, what are the people by watching the videos I think they might be interested in doing this? But I decided I'm just going to put my normal tag list. Like always, if it's something you like to do, whether in a video your own or any of the prompts in my comments, please do so. But no pressure or anything. Also, I say this occasionally, if you'd like me to take your name off my tag list, please let me know. But also, if you watch my videos and you like me to include me in my tag list, please let me know that too, and I would be happy to do so. If you can't think of anything else to comment, please add a book or a book emoji as a comment. I hope you're having a wonderful reading week. I hope you're having a wonderful week in general. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, please subscribe, please hit the bell to get notified when I upload future videos.